guys, it's Chance again. So today's video is really random, kinda, but I want to talk about my book. So thank you to all of you guys who have bought it. I can't believe so many of you guys have bought it. That is so exciting. And so many of you guys have reached out to me to tell me how much you liked it or how much it helped you. So that makes me so excited because I literally wrote this book in like 3 days. Mind you, it's really short, but yes, thank you guys so much for supporting my book and allowing me to help you with your boutique owning journey. So today I just want to read, not really read, but like pull out some points from my book and kind of make a conversation based off of those points. So I'm going to start with my favorite part of the book, which is chapter 4, which is called, I don't know if you guys can see. Okay, there we go. The pay method. So the pay method is, it's not really a method, but kind of just something I came up with. So basically I'm going to read, I'm going to read the first paragraph. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in school right now, but don't click out of this video. Okay, I know this may sound like school time, but I promise you it's not. So, okay, this is what it says, the pay method. So it says, one of the most important steps that you should take before you buy any merchandise is to do your research. Your research will involve the use of something I like to call the pay method. So the pay method doesn't involve actual payment with money for anything. Instead, you will pay a visit to other shops. You will pay attention to what they sell. You will pay attention to how they service their customers, etc. You get what you pay for. So if you don't pay attention and if you don't do your research, then you'll end up paying the price for sure. And that might include a hefty amount of failure and wasted money. So basically, this chapter is about paying attention. Paying a visit to other places, other shopping spaces, paying attention, darn it. So basically, in this chapter, I encourage you all to go out and do your research besides Google, because I'm sure you guys have noticed that there are not a lot of resources out there for people who are trying to start boutiques, especially not by way of providing information about vendors and things of that nature. So one of the ways that I started finding vendors when I first started doing my buying was by going into other boutiques, going into shops and things like that. And so I want you guys to understand that you don't only have to go to boutiques, because again, there was a mad person in my comments who I've spoken about before who did not think that you guys should come into other boutiques and look at what they're selling. That's called market research. If you're going to open a business, any type of business, you go into the competition space and see what the heck's going on in there. You see what they're selling and how they're pricing it and how they're servicing their customers and what the customers are saying. You read the Google reviews about that company, especially if you know that that company is going to be like your direct competition, or if you know that that company is something along the same lines of what you want your company to be. So it is your responsibility as a potential business owner to do your research. Pay attention to what other people are doing. Don't let anyone tell you that you are wrong. Now, I don't have any problem with a person coming into my shop and saying, and starting to ask me questions. By all means, feel free. And it's my choice to either give you those answers or not give you those answers. I don't encourage anyone to go into anybody else's place of business and outright decide that they're going to sell exactly the same things as that person. I would not recommend that by any means. However, I do recommend you to go into other places and see what's going on in there. And also, you don't only have to go into boutiques. You can also go into larger retail spaces. So even spaces like Macy's, Sears, JCPenney's, Dillard's, wherever, their prices may be a little bit higher, but they also carry other brands by vendors that you guys can shop from. So especially if your goal is to sell items that are a little bit more pricey or higher end, those are places that you can start with to find out what vendors are out there. So pay attention, use the pay method. Let me see what else I said in there. Pay attention to the clothes, how they're servicing the customers. One of the great things that I like to do, so I'm a shopper all day, every day. Like, I'm at the store even when I ain't got no money and no reason to be there. But I like to see what's out there. So when I am out and about shopping, one of the things that I like to pay attention to is like, you know, if I came in on Tuesday and they had, I don't know, 24 boxes of one particular pair of shoes. If I come back on the next Tuesday, I like to see how many boxes of those particular shoes they still have. So that kind of gives me an idea of whether or not they're selling a particular item, or if a particular category is working for them. So basically, like if I saw that they had a ton of, you know, of those little furry flip-flop sandals or whatever on one Tuesday, and then I come back on the following Tuesday and they haven't sold very many, that tells me that people in our area, you know, in that age, the age group that they're servicing, they're not really interested in that item. And you know, it could be that there is too many people in that area that are selling that same type of item, and people have more than one place that they can go shop for that item at. So just be mindful of like the types of items they're selling and how often or how quickly they're selling through those particular items. So we're gonna go to another portion of the book, so stay tuned. Alright, so chapter 2 of this book is called Are You Ready? And in this chapter, I basically, you know, tell you guys to get ready to start your business. So this particular chapter is a very brief one about, you know, getting the proper licensing and things that you need in order to make your business legit. So there's been a little bit of confusion about what makes your business, you know, what constitutes a business actually being registered. So please know that like registering for an EIN does not make your business legit. A EIN is a employer identification number. So basically what an EIN is a social security number basically for your business. So basically think about it this way. So when a baby is born, the baby is given a social security number because a new life has been formed. So it's like not having the baby yet, but you've given the baby a social security number. You can't do that. So you need to go register your business. Give your business a life with the state that you're going to run your business from. And then you can go get an EIN number. Now you can do it the opposite way. I personally did it the other way. So I registered the business with the state and then I got an EIN number. So please know that getting your free EIN number does not mean that your business is legit and that you can just run along and frolic into ordering merchandise from vendors. Now, another thing that a lot of you guys have been running into issues with is registering for an account on fashiongo.net. So I've actually had quite a few of you reach out and tell me that you're registering for an account on the website, but they're asking for 2 invoices. So I don't want to say that you guys aren't reading, but some of you guys aren't reading. So I'll talk about this in another video, but my job is actually going out of business, which I was kind of sad about at first, but I'm not sad about anymore because that has prompted me to register my own business, or register to start my own business. So I went on to fashiongo.net to register my own business, so not with the company that I work for. So I submitted my my approved application for my EIN number, as well as a certificate showing that I had registered my business with the state of Missouri. So that is called an article of organization. So when I first signed up for the actual account, it sent me a message back, basically, which is the message that a lot of you guys have forwarded to me, and it says, you know, what documents you need to submit. So the documents may be different depending on the state that you're from. However, and then mine also did say, you know, that you can submit 2 invoices from previous orders that you placed. However, if you keep reading, it says that if your business was formed within the last, I can't remember if it says 6 months or 6 weeks, but if it was formed within a certain period of time, you did not have to submit those 2 invoices. So I kid you not, I just formed mine, which in the last 2 weeks, I submitted the documents that they told me that I needed to submit, or the documents that would, you know, suffice the requirements, and then I was granted access to the website. So make sure that you guys are reading what the requirements are for you to register for these sites, because it really is easier than you guys think it is, and a lot of you guys are making it a lot harder than it has to be. So again, feel free to reach out to me if you need help. However, please remember that requirements are different depending on the state that you're from. And the quicker that you register your business and then register for the account, the better, because you don't have to submit those 2 invoices. Also, feel free to pick up the phone and call the good old people at Fashion Go. I have done it numerous times. Someone will answer the phone and they will be more than happy to answer your questions. So I will link the phone number in the description bar below, and make sure that you are ready to order merchandise. And by ready, I mean you have registered your business. Make sure that there will not be any bumps that occur when you are ready to order merchandise. There is no worse feeling than getting up to the counter while you're at the fashion district, or while you're, call yourself shopping at a trade show and you don't have the proper documents. Oh my God. Do yourself a favor and make sure that you have registered your business. Okay? Okay. All right, guys, so chapter 14 of this book is called Building Connections with Vendors. Oh, nope, 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 oh, there we go. Oh my God, Building Connections with Vendors. So it is very self-explanatory. This chapter is about how to build connections with vendors. So let me read the first paragraph to you guys. So it says, although I had a list of styles I was looking for as well as a budget, I made an effort to stop anytime something interesting caught my eye. I didn't stay in the booth for long, however. I took a quick lap around the booth to see what the merchandise was like, as well as paid attention to the pricing. Although I wasn't purchasing anything, I always asked a very particular list of questions, which you can read below. So I will read the questions that I typically ask when I am shopping with a new vendor, or if I, am shopping in the fashion district and I'm just running through very quickly. So here's a very quick run through of what I asked. So 1, do you have a lookbook as well as a business card that I can take with me? A lookbook is a pamphlet or a brochure that includes photos of some of the vendor's current merchandise. So number 2, I always ask what the person's name is that I am talking to. Number 3, I ask how often they receive new merchandise. Number 4, I always ask if they are on Fashion Go. If they say they're not, they'll tell you if they're like on Orange Shine or LA Showroom or whatever. Number 5, I ask what their typical price range is. So yes, I might have, looked through some of their pieces, but I try to ask what their typical price range is, because that'll tell me very quickly whether or not it's within my budget or not. And then number 6, I ask, are you located in the LA Fashion District? So this is I guess these are mostly questions for talking at the at trade shows, but minus that one, you can ask these questions in a fashion district. So I said it's important to ask this because you want to be able to build a list of vendors to shop with when or if you visit the fashion district. So then I go on to say, more than likely they will ask you questions as well if their booth is not crowded. And then it says some of those questions that they might ask are: 1, where is your boutique located? 2, where do you sell, or what do you sell? 3, what is your price point? Okay, so those were the only questions I list. So remember that these people want your money. They want your business, just like you want. When you start your business, you want people's business, you want their money. So they're going to ask you questions back, and sometimes even if you say, that's not really in my budget, or that's not in my price range, they'll ask you, okay, what is your budget? What is your price range? And they will help you find items within their collection that will work for you. So I said there may be other questions asked. You never know what may come up in this very short conversation. And then it says, during my trip to Magic, I stopped at one particular booth, asked my questions, and then she asked her questions back. It turned out that she was the owner of the company. She was very impressed by our boutique and our mission. We exchanged contact information, and although most of their pieces were a bit out of my price range, she agreed to contact me via email to let me know when items were marked down or when they got cute styles that were in our price range. And it says, of course, I had to follow up with her when I made it back home, because I'm sure she met hundreds, if not thousands of other people, and I wanted to refresh her memory. So then I end, blah, 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 blah. It says communication is key, especially in a crowded and overwhelming space like Magic. There are workers inside every single booth that are there to help. Tell them about your shop, what you sell, what you're looking to buy, and how much you're looking to spend. Be honest if something isn't in your price range. Depending on what it is, there may be room for price negotiations. You will make your magic experience 10 times harder if you don't communicate or ask for help. So I have made a video about magic, as you guys know. It is super overwhelming. It's a lot of fun, but it is very overwhelming, and you can make it just a bit less overwhelming if you communicate and ask questions, ask for help. The people are there for that reason. Again, like I said, they want your business, they want your money, and they are willing to help you. A lot of times there's a little bit room for price negotiation, so please do not be afraid to ask. However, please remember that these people are trying to make money as well, so don't assume that like they're selling an item for $10 and you're about to get it for $5. Like, that's very unrealistic. But yeah, ask questions. Do yourself a favor and do them a favor. Don't waste their time, you know, walking around with 10 items in your hand that you know for a fact are not in your price range, and then you know, they ask to hold them for you, and then you're like, oh no, I'm sorry, I was just looking, you know, trying to get an idea, and I'm not actually buying anything. So yeah, communication is key. Yeah. All right, so the last chapter that I'm going to talk to you guys about is chapter 6, which is the advantages of purchasing merchandise in person. Oh, right there. All right, so I begin the chapter by saying, there's definitely advantages to purchasing merchandise in person rather than online. Not only do you get to see and feel the merchandise before buying, you also have the chance to build a relationship with a live human being who works in a shop. Your interaction with that worker can be very important. It could mean the difference in you paying $9 for an item or $10.50 for an item. Yes, I'm telling you that it's possible for you to negotiate prices. It doesn't always happen, but it's much easier to do when you're standing right in front of the person and they want to make a sale. So on both of my trips to, I think I've been to the fashion district twice, maybe 3 times. But anyway, on all of those trips, I have been able to negotiate prices. Sometimes it's as little as 25 cents. Sometimes it's as much as $1. And that may not sound like a lot, but when you think about all of the items that you are buying in order to fill an entire shop or to build an entire collection, those dollars add up. You are paying for your items by the pack, but there are 6 to 8 items in that pack. So, you know, you might save $8 on one pack, but think about all of the packs that you bought. That can add up. So don't be afraid to ask, you know, if there's a little bit room for wiggling. And I also think that you should be direct and honest when something is not in your price range. You know, if you know that most of the items that you buy are usually between $8 and $10, don't pick up a $16 item and assume that this person is going to sell it to you for $8 to $10. It's not going to happen because they had to pay. More than likely, if they didn't manufacture it and they're just distributors, they are paying for the item as well. So I begin the chapter saying, I typically begin my negotiation tactics by telling the worker how in love with the item or items that I am. I walk around the store with them in my hands, and this makes the worker excited because just like any other store, these people have goals to make and they are determined to make a sale. So again, I'm not walking around the store with, you know, 17 items that I know are way out of my price range. These are items that are within my price range, but I'm hoping that I can get them to move, you know, about $1 in difference of price. Okay, so it says, after I've made all of my selections, I take them up to the counter and we start totaling up the order and talking prices. Once they've told me my total, I typically let them know I've went over my budget. Even if I have not actually gone over my budget, I let them know. Like, oh, no, girl, I can't spend that much. So then I'm like, oh, I need to put something back. So in that person's head, it's like, oh, dang, like, what can I do to help save this this transaction? Like, I want them to, because they want to sell as many items as they can, and they also want to make as much money as they can. It's just how retail works. So while you're brainstorming how much money you would like to spend on these items, they're brainstorming how much money they can sell that item to you for at the same time. You guys are thinking price at the same time, trust me. So I go on to say, at this point, the worker may be caught off guard because they thought that they were about to make a huge sale. So it says, I start picking up each item one by one and asking about the prices. If something is $8, I might say, can they do $7? They may say no. So then I ask if they can do $7.50. They might say no again. So then I ask if they can do $7.75, and then they agree. It says, you never know what they may agree to, but remember, you need to make money, and so do they. More than likely, they just want to make want you to take the merchandise home, so there's probably some wiggle room for negotiations if it will result in a definite sale. So sometimes they may throw a price out at you and say, you know, what about, how much did I say? So it's $8. They might say, you know, what about $7.80? And I'm like, oh, girl, no. And I'm like, what about $7.50? And they're like, ooh, $7.60. And you're like, okay. So it can come off as like kind of flea market-ish, but you got to do what you got to do to save them coins, and they got to do what they got to do to sell that merchandise. So blah, blah, blah. I go on to tell you a little bit more about negotiating. Let's see. So I go on to say, another important tip is to ask for help. If you can't find something, ask for help. On one of my buying trips, I was searching high and low for plus size merchandise. Oh my God, plus size merchandise is so hard to find, guys. Like, if you think it's hard to find it online, it is still just as hard to find it in person. It sucks, but hopefully over time, there will be more options out there. But anyway, so it says I couldn't find it anywhere. After a while, I finally stopped and asked one of the store owners if they knew where I might be able to find some. To my surprise, they told me exactly what street to visit. If I had opened my mouth and asked earlier, though, I could have saved a lot of time. And so then I end the chapter. I think that's the end. Yeah, so I end the chapter by telling you a few ways to save some time, and you know how to a few tips for just essential navigating the fashion district. So it says save time by using a map and asking for directions. You don't have to use like a paper map, but like on your phone. I want to say the fashion district website has an actual map that shows you where each store is located. So save money by negotiating prices. Save your arm strength by leaving your bags with the vendor after you purchase. Save space in your luggage by having larger items shipped. Save space in your luggage by only packing lightweight and small items that you purchased. Save your feet by wearing comfy shoes. Save more money by parking in a parking garage rather than on the street at a meter. And save yourself a headache by shopping early in the week rather than later in the week when it's busier. And that's it. That's all. So, again, I hope that if you guys have not gotten my book, that you will think about getting my book. I hope that it will be of some help to you guys. I think there are, let's see how many chapters. There are 16 chapters, but it's a really short read. It's like 45 pages. You can get it exclusively on Amazon. You can type in my name, Jan Charté, and it will come up. It's the only thing that will come up because I have a super not common name, and yay, makes it really easy for you to find me. It is available in paperback version, which this is, and it's also available in an ebook version. The prices are different. If you get the ebook, it's a little bit cheaper because I don't have to pay for printing. If you get a paperback, I have to pay for printing, so it costs a little bit more. But it's for a great cause, and it's going to help you in the long run. So yeah. So again, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, sending me emails and whatnot. And please be on the lookout for lots of things that I have coming. I will be hosting a live webinar soon. So if you have not, go to my website, which is www.janshorte.com, and subscribe to my email list, which is where you can find, or I will be sending out information about the webinar that I will be hosting. It will be completely free, will not cost you a thing. If you're in the St. Louis, Missouri area, I will be hosting 2 workshops next month, and I'll actually be hosting them in the shop that I run. Although it's going out of business, we have tons of space though, and we'll talk about opening boutiques, registering your business, buying merchandise. You will get a copy of my book if you are in the area. What else? I'll have a couple of women come to speak who own boutiques, who run boutiques, who work in boutiques. I will also, hopefully, I'm not going to speak about that because I don't want to get you guys' hopes up about it, because I haven't talked to her about it yet, but I'm hoping she'll say yes. But anyway, so I have lots of exciting things coming up, so stay on the lookout for all of those. And again, thank you guys for watching. Bye.